Okay, Burley High School speech students, it's time to write that cover letter. And there are two forms that we can use. First of all, know that all cover letters should be typed. Sometimes you will send them via email. These you will not. I want you to type them. And then you're going to send them to me via email this time. But eventually I want you to print them out and turn them in. Here's the reason why. You're very used to sending things electronically. And you're used to signing electronically. But when you actually have to print it out and sign your name, you don't really know how to do that. And you're not used to doing it. And you forget to do it. And a lot of things you are actually going to put in the mail and send, and not send electronically. So I want you to think about that. But in this case, we're going to choose the format that we want to use, one of two formats that we're going to use, and you are going to send it to me electronically when it's done. I will check it and let you know that it's been checked, and then when you get back to school, you can print it out and turn it in again, this time signed. Okay, so first thing, we can either use what's called a business format, make it a business letter, or we can use what's called a personal format and make it a personal letter. What I'm going to start with first is if we were sending it like it were a personal letter. Okay? So if we were sending a cover letter like it was a personal letter, we would go to the upper right hand part of the page and we would start with our address. On the first line, you've got an inch margin up here, 1 inch margin. Then you're going to go over to the right hand side of the page and you're going to tab over, because if you use the indent to the right, then this won't all be on the same margin line, and they should be. So you put your street address, your P.O. box, whichever one you have, goes there. On the next line, right underneath of it, goes the city, and it's capitalized. It's capital B. Comma, always a comma, space, and then ID, and it's capital I, and it's capital D, Idaho. And then the zip code. Okay. The next line comes right here, starts right under here, and it's the date. Today is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. 2020. Everyone got that? Got the glare off of it. Street or P.O., city, state, zip, date. Then we skip a line, skip a whole line right in here, come over to the left-hand side. Now we put the name of the person that we are sending this letter to. Okay? It says to send it to the attention of Mrs. Fisher. That's ATTN : Mrs. Fisher. Make sure it's a capital S. Make sure it's a capital F. Make sure there's a period after the S. Attention, Mrs. Fisher. Then, Fisher Enterprises. Make sure you spell it correctly. Goes down on the next line. Capital F, capital E. Then that address, 2100 Park Avenue. And I'm not going to put a period there because if I were doing this, I would take this when it's all done and I would move it over and make an envelope and print the envelope. And the post office doesn't like for there to be periods here. But if you put a period there, it's okay. Okay? Next thing then, of course, Burley, capital B-U-R-L-E-Y, comma, space, capital I, capital D, 8331 Going to bring this closer so that you can see it. And through the power of technology, if you need to, you can pause that until it does what you want it to do. Okay. Now, we skip another line. Right here, we skip another line, and we put what's called, and you should know this, the salutation. Dear, capital D-E-A-R, Mrs. Fisher. And because this is what we call a personal letter, there's a comma that goes there. And we skip another line right here. Skip another line right there. And we begin. And it's still flush left. I am interested in the cook position, or whatever position it is that you're interested in. Okay? Please, treat it like it's real. So don't put that I saw in the paper. You didn't see it in the paper. It wasn't in the paper. I didn't place it in the paper. Don't say it was in the paper. It wasn't in the paper. Okay? I am interested in the cook position. That's enough. And that's enough for the first paragraph. Or if you're interested in two, I'm interested in the cook position and the drive-through position. Whatever you're going to say. Then we're skipping a line. Right here, we are skipping a line, and we're starting the next paragraph to the left. I am interested in the cook position. From my resume, you'll see I have experience in the fast food industry. I've worked 2 years as cook at Dairy Queen or wherever. Now, of course, you can't write that unless you have that experience. This is your actual experience related to whatever position it is. If you put office assistant, you'll see from my resume, I've been working in Dr. Campbell's office for 2 years. I have experience filing. I have experience typing. I handle all of his correspondence. Whatever it is that you've done, whatever it is that you have experience-wise that's related to this position. Now, some of you say, I've never worked anywhere. I don't have any experience in any industry. Okay, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you don't have experience. So, what you might say is, you'll see from my resume, not even from your resume, let's just take that off. But this is where you're talking to me about why I should hire you. Okay? And that's what we're going to put right here, is why I should hire you. So, why should I hire you? I love to cook. I've cooked for my family since I was 12. I have used a deep fryer, stove, and grill. See, I have experience, it's just not out in a job. So I'm still going to list that here in that next paragraph. Whatever your real experience is, that's what goes in next paragraph. Okay? Now, if you were interested in 2 positions, you tell me others. If you were interested in the office position, you might say, I have experience in typing. I type so many words per minute. Whatever your experience is. I know how to work a cash register. And I've had speech class, and I know how to speak on a microphone. Whatever your experience is, that's what goes next. Okay? Now, moving on down. Skip a line. Next paragraph. I look forward to speaking with you. I look forward to speaking with you. Hope to hear from you soon. Could we schedule an interview? Any of those things work in this last paragraph. Okay? Then after the last paragraph, you skip another line. Skip another line and it's time for your closing. Your closing is sincerely or sincerely yours followed by a comma. Bring this closer so you can see. Then, after you do the closing, after you do sincerely or sincerely yours, you skip 3 or 4 lines. 3 or 4 lines, and then right here against this margin, this far left margin, you type your name. And then when you print it out, you sign your name in that space between sincerely and your name. Then, if you're really good and you want the office position, you skip another line and you type what? ENC for enclosure, because you're going to enclose your resume. That's the first one that you do. Okay? That is the first kind of a cover letter that you can use. Okay, now there's a second kind of cover letter that you can use. And I'm going to go through that in the second video on cover letters, because if I keep these short, it works better for you and me. So don't stop watching. Go find the next video, part 2 of cover letter.